Hey there. Maturity Hour back again. We're just going to continue on with commons and uncommons. This time around, we are going to touch on gold printed cards, as well as colorless, and a few lands. Right off the bat, we're just going to open up. Once again, we are assigning letter grades in terms of their limited playability, and this is going to be just for limited. So let's just continue on and start with Atsakan Seer. This is a card that costs 1 colorless, 1 green, and 1 white. This is a 2/3 human druid, and this is a mana dork. You're going to want to tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and you can also sacrifice it to return a dinosaur card from your graveyard to your hand. I feel like this is great if you want to go into 3-color dinos. Mm-hmm. It has a really good, body to it as well. So this can, do you many favors. What do you guys think?
I love it. I love the card. Absolutely. Like being able to sack it and return a dinosaur from your graveyard to your hand is very, very helpful. Yeah, obviously you want to be playing Naya dinosaurs at this point. I can't see white-green dinosaurs being too strong on its own. So hopefully you're not forced into just 2 colors, because this card really shines when it comes to 3.
Yeah, probably going to give this a B to a B+.
I'll give it a B.
B here as well.
All right, moving on. Let's look at Deadeye Brawler. This is a 4 CMC with 1 black and 1 blue in its casting cost. It is a Death Touch human pirate. It has a 2/4 body, and if you have the City's Blessing, you're going to be able to basically draw cards whenever this deals combat damage to a player. So this is a great target for evasive enchantments or effects. This is pretty good. I honestly think that Death Touch is a really great keyword for this, just because it has a great body.
Yeah, it's a 2/4 body with Death Touch, which is pretty good on its own. Blue-black is a little more difficult to cast, of course, but it's very useful. Once you get the Ascend, the card is definitely amazing. So
you're probably going to want to use Treasure to help you cast this.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, that you luck out and you manage to open up some utility lands in your uncommon slots for your pre-release packs. I'm going to probably give this a B to a B+.
I'll give it a B.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here, B.
Just because it might be harder to get Ascend with these colors, I think. Yeah. Moving on, we have another pirate. This is in Rakdos. This is Dire Fleet. I almost said Neckbearder. Dire Fleet Neckbreaker.
All right, it's not. They wouldn't do two digs at Handblade in one set, okay?
Yeah. This is 2 colorless, 1 black, and 1 red. It's an orc pirate. It's a 3/2. Attacking pirates you control get an extra 2 power.
Which counts itself, so it becomes a 5/2 attacker.
Pretty interesting card, although it's pretty vulnerable. I think this is heavy aggro. You're going to cast this on turn 4 or cheat it out on turn 3 with some treasure. But yeah, this is going to die pretty quick unless you somehow give it maybe swashbuckling or some other type of enchantment to protect it.
I wouldn't attack with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I would have it out, and then I would attack with the rest of my pirates.
You would definitely hold it back. That's a pretty good point.
If you're doing an alpha swing, it's worth it to swing with that, because you just want to apply pressure. Try to get them to either lethal damage or even just very, very high damage dealt to them, so that they're left with very little life. If they block that, you might have some pirates left over next turn. You swing in for the final blow. So it's a very good card. Yes, you most likely want to keep it back, but if you can do a swing, like an alpha swing, it's worth swinging with that card.
This synergizes really well with the other 2-drop Dire Fleet female orc pirate. You know the one I'm talking about. It gets a bonus for
Dire Fleet Captain.
Pirate. Dire Fleet Captain, yeah. That's pretty good. But just the fact that this is going to die pretty easy, that's what's going to really affect my rating for it. So I'm going to probably give it a C to a C+.
C+ here.
I'll get a C+.
Going to move on to Jungle Creeper. This is a 1 green, 1 black, and 1 colorless. It's a 3/3 for 3. It's an elemental, and this can return from your graveyard to your hand if you spend 5 on its activated ability.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It just doesn't fit the color combinations of this set. You know, you're not going to be playing green black too often in limited, so I don't see it has like a place in limited unless you somehow finagle that green black color by. It's definitely never going to see play in constructed. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a bad card. I'm probably going to give it a D to a D+.
Yeah, I'll give it a D+.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the first of the Lord cycle. This is the Legion Lieutenant. It's one white and 1 black. It's a 2/2 vampire that's going to give all your other vampires +1/+1. This is pretty damn solid. If you find yourself in one of these tribes, you're going to want to play the one that's obviously suits the colors that you're in. And this is obviously a must play if that you're going to actually, if that you luck out and you open 1 or even 2 of these, you're on your way to potentially 4-0ing.
Yeah, when it comes to either of these lords, pack one, pick one for me.
Yeah,
Because then you just try to build off of those. Those are just great cards to have.
totally. So probably going to give this a B+ to an A-, or even just, no, you know what, a solid A to an A+.
Yeah, I'll give it an A.
A-. They only got 2 power.
It is true, yeah.
That's
they're
true. They
easy-
don't count themselves, yeah.
It's easy to remove.
Very true. Yeah. Right on. So moving on, here's the Merfolk version of this cycle. Merfolk Mistbinder is a 1 green, 1 blue, 2/2, and other Merfolk you control get +1/+1. Same rating. I'm going to give it an A.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to removing these things, the only thing that I can think about is you're only losing 2 mana. Like, you know, you spent 2 mana to cast these things. It sucks losing them, but you're not losing too much by it being removed. So
Yeah,
not so
it's just like aggro, and it's a removal magnet, but sometimes it's good to have. It's just good to empty out your opponent's hand, right?
And if you somehow manage to luck into more than one of these guys, then you're set.
Moving on to Raging Regisaur. This is a 4 mana, 1 green, 1 red, and 2 colorless. It's a dinosaur for 4/4. So it's 4 mana for a 4/4. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. What do you guys think about this one?
this card is great. It can be effectively 5 power. You know, if you're swinging in, you're just able to deal that 1 extra damage to a player. It has the utility of dealing 1 damage to a creature, which can be useful, especially in this set. So a 4/4 for 4 mana, super good. I'd be playing this card every time. It might also be like one of my earlier picks.
It's also potentially an enrage trigger too, right? Like you can
Absolutely, it doesn't
can
say
target one of your
opponent.
own.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. Probably gonna give this a B+ to an A-.
I'll give it a B+.
All right. Let's move on to Resplendent Griffin. It's Pirate Griffin.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
a
Parrot
parrot
Griffin.
A parrot griffin. I love it. I love it.
So it's 1 blue,
Flavor win.
1 white, and 1 colorless. It's a 2/2 flyer, and it has Ascend. So if it attacks and you manage to have the City's Blessing, it is going to grow every single time that it attacks. Really awesome, and I think it's totally on flavor for these colors too.
Yeah.
You know, it's
There's just not a lot of support for these colors, though.
Yeah, my only gripe is it doesn't follow the color trend for these tribes. However, I go white blue flyers a lot, and it's definitely possible to go white blue flyers in this this set without having to follow a tribe. You can still apply a lot of pressure.
It would be like a hodgepodge of like some vampires, some like flying sirens, that kind of a thing. So you're gonna have pirates and vampires in this color combination if you do manage to kind of like build off of this as a signpost on common.
Yeah.
I can't give it probably any more than a solid C or a C+, just because it's gonna be hard to get Ascend.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get Ascend in those colors. I want to give it a B, but I'll give it a B-.
Yeah, 2/2 for 3 flyer with the opportunity to grow. I will give it between a C plus and a B minus, just because of the color support.
I'm going to move on to Stormfleet Sprinter. This is a human pirate in red, one blue, and one colorless. It's a 2/2 for 3 with haste, and it can't be blocked. So this is really great for enabling raid. Combos well with the 4-drop looter from the first half of this block. Wish it had a bigger body, but I mean, it's an evasive creature and you can swing in with it with impunity without fear of it getting blocked. So, and it's also haste.
Its PT suits exactly what it is. You know, like a 2/2 for 3 with haste and unblockable. That's insane. I love this card. I'm actually going to give it a B plus because it does follow the colors for that tribe. So for pirates, it's an amazing card. Like, that would be one of my first picks.
If not the first pick.
Yeah, if not the first pick.
Right on. Cool. Let's move on to Relentless Raptor. It's a 1 white and 1 red. It's a 3/3 dinosaur with vigilance, and it has to attack or block each combat if able. So, interesting. So that means that this kind of techs well with that dinosaur that allows you to untap it too. It does have vigilance, right? So that means you are going to be attacking with it, and you're going to be blocking with it every single combat. So you better have ways of protecting this thing, or just making it bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it being a 3/3 for 2 with vigilance on its own.
I'll play this every single time. Maybe not a first pick, but very high up there.
I'm going to rate this as an A.
I'll give it an A minus because of the clause of it having to attack.
Yeah.
You're going to want some sort of buffs to keep it alive, but yeah, it being a 3/3 for 2 with vigilance is insane.
I'm gonna give it a B plus just because it's multicolored cost.
That's true. So we have about 4 artifacts to cover in the common rarity. So let's go ahead and start with Gleaming Barrier. This is a 2 mana. It's a wall, so it can attack. It has the defender keyword. It's a 0/4, and whenever it dies, you are going to just simply get 1 treasure. This is pretty interesting. I think it's pretty situational, although, yeah, this is just something that's going to help you get to not only mana fixing, but it's going to just ensure that you have a permanent on turn 2 that's going to, replace itself when it does get removed, if it does get removed. So this is good if you really need to get the City's Blessing. That's how I feel it's meant to be used for, I guess.
I would give it a C, but it does have its place in decks. If you need to fill a spot, it's not a bad card to fill with. So it's nothing special, but it's a decent card.
It's a good wall, and it has its place in any deck because of its colorless cost. So if you find yourself hurting for creatures low on curve, this is actually perfect because it'll help you get higher on that curve.
Yeah, so I would probably give it a C minus.
C minus.
Next up, we have a Strider Harness. This is another reprint. I think it was from Cons, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Well, Strider Harness is a 3 mana artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has haste, and it's gonna cost 1 to equip it. This is pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these cards. Barely ever is there like an equipment card that I'm going to play at common or uncommon. They're mostly trash.
Yeah, this is trash, so don't play it. I'm going to give it an F.
Yeah, this is a bait card to get bad players to pick it and put it in their deck.
Don't be a Timmy.
Yeah.
Don't play this card.
I wanna saddle on my dinosaur.
I wanna saddle on my dinosaur. All right, moving on. Let's continue on with Orazka Relic. This is a 3 CMC artifact. It checks for Ascend. It's going to tap for 1 colorless mana. So this is just like a plain vanilla ramp. You can also tap and sack it to gain 3 life and draw a card. But you can only do it if you have 10 or more permanents. So this is actually not bad if you want to ramp to like some bigger dinosaurs, just like the flavor sort of denotes here.
Yeah, I would err on the side of caution of playing
Yeah.
this card. But if you have the room in your dinosaur deck and you need some ramp, then it can fit there. It sucks that it's colorless mana, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's okay.
You're probably not going to play this in sealed, but this is something that I might have to pick. But this is probably going to be a last pick, sort of like a card that really wheels. For that reason, I'm going to give it D to a D plus.
Yeah, I'll give it a D.
D.
Let's move on to Traveler's Amulet. This is something that's been printed quite a bit. It's 1 mana. It's an artifact that you can pay 1 and sack it to search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it to your hand, and then shuffle your library.
So the only time I play this card is if you're in 3 colors.
Yeah,
In 3 colors, it's actually a fantastic card to have. Other than that, you really don't need it.
So D minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like they printed a cycle of tap lands. They enter tapped and they tap for 1 of 2 colors.
Evolving Wilds is back.
Evolving Wilds is probably good if that you are in 3 or more colors. Playing 2 colors, you definitely don't need this. Yeah, so I don't think we really need to give these any ratings. It's just it's nice to have if that you are playing 3 or more colors. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that concludes this set of colors here.
Stay tuned for the rares.
Yeah, stay tuned for the rares.